62M is the building we're in right now, and it's 40 condominium units, each of them a pie shape. So it is a circular building with a bit of a donut hole in the middle, and it's raised up on stilts for parking below and for because of the site constraints. It's a developer-driven project, so it was meant to be condos for sale. The site had a huge impact on this building, and why it is the shape it is, and the fact that it's raised up really is because it was sort of bookended. Didn't really have a frontage when the site was chosen. So there was Disraeli Freeway on one side, there was the backs of some industrial buildings, and the back of another project we had worked on, U-Cube, which is down below here. And so immediately, the sort of, I guess if you might want to call it, the inspirational sort of thought was to push it up in the air. It was sort of a no-brainer at the beginning because the site was so poor, and we knew we had to build short. So, in terms of the construction type, so pushing it up in the air was a major first move that everyone seemed to get on board with. And so when I started doing the layouts on the site, we were trying to avoid sort of unique conditions for corners and things like that raise costs and make things tricky. And so we really wanted to get into prefab as well. So prefab obviously requires a lot of repetition. And then eventually we looked at the site, and a circular happened to just really fit really well. Like, the site has truncated corners and a few odd things that make, the typical rectangle not really fit well, but the circle actually seemed to fit the best. And it provided, all that the repeatability of the units. We actually have 40 identical units in terms of shape, and that's pretty uncommon in most condo buildings. So. Yeah, it's not necessarily just about, what's trendy or whatever else, but even just the idea that you would design something more compact for and in terms of just this rolls into a bit of a sustainability talk, but just having, the sort of concepts of keeping things small but getting good quality air and good quality natural light, all those things, not necessarily even about the style of it, but there's just a lot of those factors that are just critical to the quality of life that people have, and design plays a big part in that. So I think there's a lot of things architects can do to be more sustainable with their approaches to things, and it's not about the gizmos for us at least, it's really less about the technology as it is about just sort of sound, almost old world decisions about how to just live well and use less. So building small, having if we can encourage people to have less stuff through the design of the space. I mean, not giving no closets means they won't have things, but just trying to be smart about giving the options for people to live a certain lifestyle that is sort of an environmentally conscious one.